What's going on, everybody? It's Brendan coming here. He's with KBR Sports, the best sports podcast, your 24-hour day. Had to get on video immediately for this one, guys. I'm recording a podcast at the same time while we're doing this video. Obviously, the big news just broke out that LeBron James is going to be signing with the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a 4-year deal that he's signing off with Los Angeles. And as reported by Adrian Wojnarowski and Sham Charania, I never could pronounce his name correctly, but apparently it's a 4-year deal worth $154 million with a 4th-year opt-out. So he's going to be doing the same thing, similar along the lines of what Paul George did. And in essence, what Paul George did with his contract, as reported by Woj, is that Paul George's player option in the last year according to the new CBA, allows George to extend after the second anniversary of his deal, extending on the max with OKC after year 2, while also opting out of the final year, which could make it a 7-year, $290 million contract, where in the case for LeBron, excuse me, it'd be much more than that because LeBron has already exceeded the 10-year veteran cap number that you have, the 10-year veteran experience number that you have to have in order to get that next level bracket of pay in the league that only guys like him, KD, and a few others are eligible for. So definitely, everybody knows here I'm a Laker fan. You see I have the Deadpool Los Angeles Laker t-shirt, got the Laker hat. It's not a surprise. I've always been a Laker fan since Lord knows how long, and it's been one of those things that I am very excited for the NBA, just in the case of it's a revitalization, because the Lakers are always one of the most storied franchises in the league. And as you even see, when they're bad, they make news, whether it's LeVar Ball, whether it's Lonzo Ball, or whether we're talking about something else with the Lakers. They're always in the news and in the headlines. So when the Lakers have a name brand star, it's the best show on the road. You can't beat it. There's nothing better than when the Lakers have a name brand guy that they can kind of just hang their hat on, and that person is what carries their franchise. And last person was Kobe, obviously. Before Kobe, it was him and Shaq in conjunction. Then it was Magic, Kareem, and so on. So when you have that kind of guy that anchors the franchise and carries you into that next stratosphere, it just makes everything in the NBA so much better, because the Lakers are the most popping thing in arguably all of sports. I think you have the Lakers, Yankees, Dallas Cowboys, and the Knicks. When the Knicks are good, it's really good, but it's been a select number of times. But I would say those are the main premier, like, glamour franchises in sports that no matter what the situation is, they're almost always going to be in the news, or even just the smallest of things. So with this deal, I mean, it kind of puts a lot of ease, especially since it's a 4-year deal for LeBron. Even though he does have the opt-out, and I kind of outlined it and how through Wojnarowski explaining how Paul George's contract will work. But essentially with LeBron, the deal he signed, he can extend it for longer years and get more money because of how the salary cap is projected to jump. I think by the year 2021, the salary cap is projected to jump to $119 million or $116. So with the way it's looking, LeBron will be able to stay in Los Angeles for years, and he has a goal of playing with his oldest son, LeBron James Jr., Bronny, he calls him. And he has a goal of playing with his son. So he actually has a situation where he's going to be in a place long term. His son just enrolled in a school out in Los Angeles. I don't get into all that stuff. I don't feel like we should really be covering these guys' kids that deep. But he has his son coming out to go to school there, and his goal is to end up playing with his son, God willing. So it's really interesting. And now, even when it comes to the focus of Kawhi Leonard, now, the Lakers have something in place, similar to how the Thunder have something in place now, where you can kind of take a breath of exhale and say, hey, we have something in place. We can build around this. It's not like LeBron in Cleveland, and I released a video on this. You guys can check out that video. I actually released, and the things that I said in that video don't change either just because LeBron came to Los Angeles. It's still concrete to what it is today. But he did make that move that I outlined in the video, and being the first domino, what could be the Lakers going and get more guys. You already see the Lakers have signed Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. As a result, they signed him to a 1-year, $12 million deal, or $12 to $15 million deal. As a result, right after now, because once you get that first domino to fall, you know how else you can build the rest of your franchise. You know how you got to fit the guys around him. The Lakers are a weird team because they have role guys that are on very cheap contracts. Brandon Ingram, solid player right now that is still growing. In his second season, he made a great jump from where he was in his first season. Kyle Kuzma, top 3 rookie of the year candidate. he made a big, or sorry, top 4. He made a big jump in his, or not even a big jump. That was his first season. He averaged 16.6 points in his first year. So Kyle Kuzma was already shown to be a big player. Lonzo Ball, not great in terms of shooting, but if Lonzo gets a shot, he's 6'6", can play defense. He's good at rebounding, assisting in the ball, and it all just fits perfectly with what the Lakers and what you need in moving into this new era of basketball. I mean, we're already in it, but in order to be a successful team in this new era of basketball, your team has to be able to switch on the perimeter without any kind of dip in defensive efficiency. So you have to be able to have wings guard bigger wings. So if all your wings are big, which in the case of the Lakers they are, you're able to guard teams like the Warriors. When Kevin Durant is 6, Kevin Durant's unguardable, but when you have guys that when you switch your point guard onto him, your point guard 6'6", it's not as bad of a hit that you're taking. So when you're playing those other teams like Houston and other teams that have to go small to guard you because you're essentially going 5 out, and these guys are all athletic wings and big guys that can play with the other big guys on the court, it makes it so much easier for guys. And that's the problem with LeBron's Cleveland team, which is why, in essence, I believe LeBron left Cleveland, because Cleveland was too one-dimensional. If you had Kyle Korver on the court, he was a shooter, but the defense took a dip. If you had Kevin Love on the court, Kevin Love would give the effort and everything like that. He gave you the star qualities, at least at all-star qualities on offense, but in defense, you always took a step back as well. And the same thing goes with the rest of the roster. They didn't really have any dual threat guys that could both be efficient on defense and offense. With the Lakers now and their young guys that they have, and these guys have the capabilities to also be groomed into possible stars. So it's not like that these are the guys, this is what they are, and that's all you're getting. With Cleveland, the guys that you had there, that's pretty much what you were going to have. So it was not like the only bright spot that you didn't know what the future was going to hold for him was Colin Sexton. But the Lakers, you have 3 guys in Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, and even I think if they bring back Julius Randle, you'll have Julius Randle. But if they go and get another guy, they would have to renounce his rights. But you have multiple guys that can still get so much better and could possibly be future all-stars. And those guys can help LeBron. And when LeBron's descent, because it's going to come at some point. I mean, he's defied father time for so long, but at some point, the descent is going to come. And when LeBron's descent comes, those guys will be coming up to kind of prop him up and keep him in a contending situation, so that then even when he descends, it's not like the whole franchise is going to crap and he's stuck in that situation. Hopefully the other guys will be able to elevate to a level of play where LeBron's like, I can take a load off. And that's where especially a guy like Lonzo Ball, a lot of people are saying, oh, now you have to get rid of Lonzo Ball. But if you listen to reports closely, LeBron has intimated the fact that he wants to be more off ball. He doesn't want to have to be on the ball as much as, and he showed examples of that with Kyrie, even though he didn't let Kyrie make as much of the playmaking and decision-making decisions on offense. But he did take moments where he would kind of go to the corner, catch a breath, and then he would watch Kyrie dance and boogie on people. Now with Lonzo Ball, you have a point guard who's shown that he obviously is a pass-first guy, makes plays for people, has a good basketball IQ, and that he knows how to run an offense. The problem with Lonzo Ball is his injuries and then his ability to shoot the basketball. If Lonzo can at least shoot the basketball and shoot from three-point range hovering around 40 to 38%, Man, I'm telling you, he already put on the weight, he got bigger. Man, I'm telling y'all, man, I'm happy. I'm not even complaining. I'm happy. I'm sitting here, I'm smiling. You guys know there's no music on. I came on, I have fresh emotions. I had to put everything on here immediately. Now, things do get a little interesting because we still got Kawhi Leonard hanging in the wings. But now you're hearing reports saying Kawhi definitely wants to be a Laker. And that is part of the reports. That's part of the reason why you get that first domino to fall, which is why I commend LeBron. Because once that first domino falls, everything becomes so much easier. Because not everybody's like, oh, I want to play with that guy. I want to play with that guy. And this is one of the biggest things for LeBron because he has yet, and which I outlined in my other video, LeBron has yet to really, truly land a guy that just wants to come play with him as a star. A guy that is like, I want to go play with that guy. I want to be on his team. I believe me and him, we can go to the promised land. Every single situation has been he went to go join somebody else, or the only really situation was Kevin Love getting traded there, and then Kevin Love did decide to re-sign there. But he went to Cleveland. When he came back, he went back. Kyrie was there, went and joined Kyrie. The first time in Miami, he went and joined Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. They both had already signed there ahead of LeBron deciding to make his decision to come there. So LeBron, this is the first time he actually has a chance to really bring the people to Cleveland and to Los Angeles, and then be the guy that's drawing people. You can really see LeBron's ability to draw other stars and players to come play with him, because now you essentially imagine the Los Angeles Lakers being a destination where, sort of like how Golden State does it, now you're kind of trying to convince guys, and how they did in Miami as well, where you're trying to convince guys to take the veteran exceptions, the veteran minimums, or the mid-level exceptions. The Lakers aren't in the salary tax last year, so they get a non-tax mid-level exception. So it's one of those benefits for them that now if they sign a few other guys, they have the mid-level exception to give to those other guys. Now the awkward thing for the Lakers is trying to still get rid of the Luol Deng contract, which is a curse of Jim Buss and the management from before. I don't blame Mitch Kupchak as much for it, because he was kind of just he was a general manager. Jim Buss was the president of operations. He was stuck in that situation. But it was one of the worst contracts I've seen anybody get in the past 5 years. It was terrible. It was god awful. I mean, it's dumpster fire. I would literally make a freaking meme of it. It's just how garbage it was, because it was really that bad. But now we're in a situation where if the Lakers, when it comes to trying to get Kawhi, you want to try and get him and be able to maintain those role pieces I was outlining earlier. Because when you're able to keep those pieces, it fills out the rest of your team, and you're in a position to win. That's the thing. You don't want to disassemble the whole thing you built so far to get Kawhi, especially if he wants to be in Los Angeles anyway. Even though you saw it kind of went sour before with Paul George, because the Thunder made the move to trade for Paul George, and the Lakers were going to wait for this year to try and sign him. He elected to go to the Thunder. He elected to stay with the Thunder because they traded for him. They were able to have that 1 year pitch to him, essentially, of which they're giving him reasons why to stay. But his relationship with Russell Westbrook is essentially what led him to staying, which I'm going to talk about at some point as well, because everybody said Russell Westbrook. Nobody else played Russell Westbrook. Well, what do you know? Paul George does. Ain't that funny? But at some point, if the Lakers were to make the trade for Kawhi, you would be mortgaging some of that talent that I was outlining that they have now, and which it kind of buffers LeBron going into his later years and makes it easier for him to have a lighter load, especially with him being 34 years old. So that'll be very interesting to see if the Lakers decide to make that move and what exactly they're willing to give up. Because I know now that they have LeBron, I think they feel the pressure to kind of make that move to some degree, but it's a little bit of stress off, because now you had that first domino. With Magic Johnson, a few days ago, I wanted to smack the hell out of Magic Johnson. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I wanted to smack him. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm gonna resign if you sign if I don't land a free agent in the next 2 years. I was like, Magic, if you resign, I'm not going through this again, Magic. It's been tough times as a Laker fan over the past few years. I was like, Magic, don't do this to me. You know I enjoy the smile and everything like that, but don't be making promises you can't guarantee on. But low-key, I think Magic was tampering behind everybody's back. Nobody knew it. Like when last time LeBron was in LA and he did that little pass, that time Magic was like, let me take you out to dinner. Let me show you a little bit of attention time. I know you've already been around before, but let me show you how Irvin Magic Johnson does it. And LeBron was like, I got time. And then Magic kind of coerced him. Was like, you might want to do this on a regular basis. And LeBron was like, well, Magic, I live in Cleveland. I'm signed to Cleveland right now. And Magic was just like, only a couple months left. And then LeBron was just like, hey, we'll talk. And then when he landed back from his trip on vacation, I was like, whoo, everybody was talking. They had freaking drones watching LeBron's private jet. A little creepy, because I was like, how the heck did y'all know he was on a private jet? You guys are waiting for him that much? I was like, that's crazy. But Magic, you know what, Magic, you fulfilled what you were supposed to do. This is the reason why the Lakers brought you in. Jeannie Buss made you the vice president of player operations. Magic, you have done well, Magic. I commend you. I give you your credit. You and Rob Pelinka, you both had done your jobs, and all I gotta do is give you a round of applause. I can't do nothing else but just give you the round of applause. You deserve it. It's a job well done. But there's still much more to do. Got to fill out the rest of the roster. Especially we need to know with the big man. I know they signed Zubac they re-signed him, and I don't know, he's a young big guy, but in terms of he can space the floor, but he still has some raw talent, and he has to kind of get some of his more fundamental rebounding and other things down, especially in terms of help defense and straight on ball defense. But it's one of the first building blocks to hopefully being something more for what the Lakers need. But y'all, that's all I got for right now. I definitely this is unedited, unscripted, full raw motion, everything. Put the cap on, had the shirt on, everything. If you guys want to see my reaction on social media, go on Snapchat, follow me at Cape King BA24, Instagram Brendan Aben at my Instagram. Like I always say on my normal reels, if you want to find all my content, you go to my website brendanaben.com. You can find my blog, post my podcast episodes and other content on there, and as well as my Twitter at Aben Brendan. It's like backwards. It's ABBANBRENDAN. So the whole thing is backwards. And then obviously, of course, guys, I want to hear you guys' comments about it. What do you think the future is looking like for the Lakers now that they got LeBron James? Because, I'm happy. I'm not complaining. All right, guys, have a good night.